Laziness is not just lying on the couch or scrolling endlessly through your phone. It's a silent enemy that disguises itself as comfort, rest, or taking it easy. Rest is necessary for the body and mind to recover, but laziness is different. It's the choice to avoid what you know you should be doing. It's that inner voice that whispers, "You can do it later," until later becomes tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes never. It convinces you that there's no harm in waiting, but every day you give in, it's stealing something from you. Your potential, your growth, your future. This enemy is cunning. It doesn't come with warning signs or alarms. It creeps in slowly, making excuses sound reasonable. You're tired. You deserve a break. It says, even when you've barely begun. Laziness feeds off comfort zones, keeping you trapped in a cycle where nothing changes because nothing is challenged. And the longer you let it stay, the stronger it becomes. The danger is that laziness doesn't always feel bad in the moment. It feels easy, even safe. But deep down, you know the truth. Every time you choose it over action, you're letting go of an opportunity to improve yourself. Days pass, weeks vanish, and you're left wondering why nothing in your life is moving forward. Acknowledging laziness as an enemy means calling it out when it shows up. It's recognizing that it's not just who you are, but a habit that can be broken. It's understanding that your goals, dreams, and the life you want are on the other side of action, and that action starts refusing to let this silent thief control you. The first step to killing laziness is to see it for what it truly is. A barrier between you and the best version of yourself. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. And if you depend on it to take action, you will spend most of your life waiting. People often say they will start working when they feel ready, but that feeling rarely arrives. The truth is, the most successful individuals in any field, they are always motivated. They move forward because they are disciplined. Discipline is the art of doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It is showing up when your mind screams for when your body begs for rest, and following through on your commitments no matter how inconvenient they become. Motivation can get you started, but discipline keeps you going when motivation is gone. Think about it. There will be days when you're tired, distracted, or simply not in the mood. That's where discipline becomes your anchor. It removes emotion from the equation. You don't have to negotiate with yourself every morning, asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" Instead, discipline makes the choice for you. You do it because you said you would. You do it because it's part of who you are. Over time, discipline builds trust with yourself. You begin to believe in your own word, and that belief is powerful. It becomes easier to act without hesitation. Discipline is not about being harsh on yourself. It's about being consistent with the actions that align with your goals. It's what turns ambition into reality and dreams into tangible results. Laziness thrives in the absence of discipline. But once you commit to acting no matter how you feel, laziness has no chance to survive. Discipline is the weapon that kills it before it grows. I can expand the rest of the 8 keynotes into similar 300-word mini speeches so they fit perfectly into your motivational videos flow. Would you like me to do that next? The hardest part of defeating laziness is not finishing the work. It's starting it. That very first step is where most people lose the battle. You sit there thinking about what needs to be done, convincing yourself you'll start in 5 minutes. But those minutes turn into hours, and the hours into wasted days. The truth is, once you actually begin, something shifts. Your brain and body fall into motion, and the momentum starts to build. Action breeds more action, and suddenly what felt impossible starts to feel natural. But that shift never happens if you don't push through the invisible wall at the beginning. That wall is made of excuses, hesitation, and fear of discomfort. It whispers to you that you can wait until tomorrow, that you're not ready, that you need the perfect conditions. That's a lie. That's a lie. You don't need to be ready. You need to begin. Even the smallest, most imperfect start is infinitely more powerful than endless planning. If you can force yourself to take that first step, no matter how small, you've already beaten the hardest part of the battle. Think of it like pushing a heavy boulder. Getting it moving is the hardest part, but once it rolls, it becomes easier with every push. The same principle applies to your work, your fitness, your goals, and your dreams. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it will never come. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you feel is rare. Instead, train yourself to act first and let the feeling catch up later. The moment you start, you separate yourself from the masses who never move beyond wishing. You create momentum, and momentum is a force that laziness can't against. Just start, and everything else will follow. Laziness often disguises itself in the form of excuses, convincing you that today isn't the right day, that you'll start when you feel ready, or that the perfect moment will somehow appear. The truth is, that perfect moment never comes. Progress doesn't require massive leaps. It thrives on small, consistent actions that accumulate over time. Too many people believe they need to wait for the big breakthrough, the big opportunity, or the perfect set of circumstances to take action. But success is rarely built in a single day. It's the result of countless small steps, taken when no one is watching. Think about it. Every great achievement you admire was built brick by brick, not by one giant move. The human mind craves instant gratification, which is why laziness feels so comfortable. It offers you the illusion of peace while silently stealing your potential. But small actions are the antidote. When you choose to do one push up instead of none, write one paragraph instead of waiting for inspiration, or spend 10 minutes learning instead of scrolling endlessly, you're training your brain to act rather than delay. It's in these moments, when you choose action over excuses, that you begin to destroy the roots of laziness. You don't need to conquer the whole mountain in a day. You just need to take the next step, and then the next. Over time, those steps become habits, and habits shape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who delays and start seeing yourself as someone who does. And that shift, that quiet, gradual transformation, is how laziness dies. Not through one massive act of willpower, but through the steady, relentless choice to move forward, no matter how small the step may seem. Your environment is either building you or breaking you, and most people don't even realize it. Laziness doesn't always come from a lack of desire. It often comes from being surrounded by distractions that slowly drain your focus and energy. The truth is, your brain will always take the path of least resistance. And if the easiest option in your space is a couch, a phone, and a never-ending scroll of meaningless content, then that's exactly where your time will go. You can't expect yourself to rise to your full potential while being buried under constant temptation. If you want to kill laziness, you have to make the wrong choices hard and the right choices easy. That means reorganizing your environment so that it works for you, not against you. Remove the apps that eat your hours, shut off the endless notifications, and keep your workspace clear of things that pull you away from action. Replace easy temptations with tools that push you forward. A list of a TV remote, a to-do list instead of a pile of junk, a water bottle instead of another can of soda. The people around you matter just as much as the objects around you. If you're constantly surrounded by people who settle for less, who laugh at ambition, who make excuses instead of progress, you'll start absorbing that mindset without even noticing. Spend more time with those who challenge you, those who push you to do better, those who make laziness uncomfortable. Killing laziness is just about willpower. It's about creating an environment where laziness can't survive. Change your space, change your company, and you'll change your life. Because when distractions disappear, action becomes the only option. Deadlines have a way of igniting a fire with us that nothing else can. When there's a fixed point in time where something must be done, your mind and body align in a way they simply don't. You feel like you have forever. Laziness thrives in an environment where there is no urgency, no consequence for delay. But the moment you attach a clear and immovable deadline to a task, the brain shifts gears. It stops negotiating with excuses and how to get it done. The problem for most people is that they wait for life to give them deadlines. They wait until the boss says the report is due, until the rent date is approaching, until a crisis forces them into action. But winners don't wait for external pressure. They create their own. They understand that without urgency, days bleed into weeks, weeks into months, and goals fade into dreams that never see the light of day. Self-imposed deadlines turn intentions into commitments. When you say, I will have this done by Friday at 6 p.m., you are putting yourself on the hook. You create an internal sense of pressure that forces action even when you don't feel like moving. The mind, when faced with a real-time limit, becomes sharper, more focused, more resourceful. Laziness dies when urgency is born. The clock becomes your enemy, because it reminds you that every moment wasted is a moment you will never get back. If you want to kill laziness, stop telling yourself you'll start someday. Give yourself a clear finish line and treat it like the world depends on you crossing it. Because in a way, your world does. Your future self is watching and waiting for you to deliver. True comfort is not found in lying on the couch, scrolling endlessly, or avoiding the hard things in life. That kind of comfort is temporary and hollow. It feels good for a moment, but it leaves you weaker, unfulfilled, and filled with quiet regret. Real comfort comes from knowing you gave your best, from looking in the mirror and seeing someone who refused to quit. It's walking into the night tired, sore, and spent what you built your own hands and willpower. The truth is, the comfort you think you want, the one that keeps you safe, still, and warm, slowly turns into a prison. It traps your potential behind invisible bars. You stay comfortable, but deep down, you're restless, unsatisfied, and craving more. That's because we were not made to sit still. We were built for progress, for challenges, for the satisfaction of conquering something difficult. The human spirit comes alive when it's tested, when it's beyond its limits. Every time you choose to get up early, to work when you don't feel like it, to push through discomfort, you're building a deeper kind of comfort. The comfort of self-respect, the kind that stays with you for a lifetime. The comfort of knowing you faced the storm instead of hiding from it. Redefine what comfort means to you. Let it be the feeling of sweat on your forehead after a hard workout, the quiet pride after finishing a difficult task, the satisfaction of turning your dreams into reality. That's the comfort worth chasing, the one that strengthens you, not the one that makes you soft. Because at the end of the day, comfort without growth isn't comfort at all. It's slow decay. Choose the kind that makes you stronger. Training your mind is no different than training a muscle. Every time you choose action over comfort, you are building mental strength. Laziness thrives in a weak mind. A mind that gives in to the first excuse, the first distraction, the first whisper of, I'll do it later. But just like a muscle grows stronger through resistance, your willpower grows stronger every time you push yourself to do something you don't feel like doing. It starts small. Waking up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. Going for that workout even when you're tired. Finishing that project before the deadline, even when you'd rather scroll your phone. Each of these moments is a mental rep. And the more reps you do, the more resilient and disciplined you become. You can't expect mental strength to magically appear when life gets tough if you haven't been training it daily. Just as you wouldn't walk into a gym once a month and expect to lift heavy weights, you can't expect to crush laziness if you only fight it occasionally. The training happens every day, in the smallest decisions, in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Understand this discipline is built in discomfort. When your mind tells you to stop, that's the exact moment you need to push forward. That resistance you feel is the weight you need to lift. Every time you push past it, you're conditioning your mind to obey your goals, not your feelings. The difference between the person you are and the person you want to become lies in how often you win these battles with yourself. Train your mind daily. Push through resistance. And soon, laziness will have no place to live. Laziness is more than just sitting around doing nothing. It is a silent thief that steals your future without you even noticing. Every day you put off action, every task you delay, every excuse you make. These are moments you can never get back. The danger of laziness is not that it hurts you instantly, but that it slowly robs you of your potential. There's no left but regret. You might think you're just resting or waiting for the right time. But the truth is, life doesn't wait. Opportunities are constantly passing by, and they don't pause until you're ready. The cost of laziness isn't measured in hours wasted. It's measured in dreams abandoned. Think about the things you once wanted to achieve, the person you once wanted to become. Laziness builds invisible walls between you and those goals. One day of skipping effort turns into a week turns into months, and before you realize it, years have gone by and nothing has changed. What's worse, you'll look back and realize you weren't defeated by someone stronger, smarter, or more talented. You were defeated by your own unwillingness to act. Every minute you choose comfort over effort, you're making a trade. You're trading growth for stagnation, achievement for mediocrity, and progress for regret. And regret is the heaviest burden you will ever carry, because of the knowledge that you could have done more, been more, lived more. The truth is harsh but simple. No one can kill your laziness for you. No one can drag you to your dreams. That fight is yours alone. And if you refuse to face it now, laziness will win. And it will take everything you could have been along with it.